Okay, welcome to study guide for the 3.4 to 3.6 supply section. So what you're looking at here, you're looking at an individual supply curve and a market supply curve. And so if the question was to give you several different points and ask you, okay, which one of these points would you find on the market supply curve? So if it's the market one, we're looking at the one that's here on the right. So you're going to be looking for one of these points here. So if I gave you a point at like $2 and 150 slices, that's not going to be true because that's over here on the individual one. We're going to want like $2 and 1,500 slices, $4 and 2,500, or $5 at 3,000 slices. Any one of these points here on this graph over here on the right. The next one, if I asked you a question about elasticity, now this is one that you need to calculate. And let me choose, let's go blue. So if I told you that currently for $50, we could get 100 light bulbs. And then there's a price drop of $40 and you can get 200. Okay, sounds like a good deal to me. Well, what is the elasticity of this? Elasticity of supply. So elasticity of supply is going to be the change in supply over the change in price. Change in price is always going to be on the bottom, whether it's elasticity of demand or elasticity of supply. So let's do our change in supply. So it's going to be, what's the difference between the two amounts? That's 100 over what's our original supply amount? That's 100. So that gives us a number of 1. Yay, I like numbers like this. Now let's find our change in price. So our change in price is going to be, the difference is $10 over our original price of what? $50. And this simplifies to 1/5. So we get 1 divided by 1/5. So that's going to be same, change, flip, which equals 5. So is this elastic or is it inelastic? Well, if we look at our chart here, this is highly elastic with a value of 5. So yes, the supply of this product is going to react heavily with a change in price. And you can see that it did. Okay, let's go to the next one. Here we're talking about marginal returns, and this is where, as we add each additional worker, what are we going to get? So the question, if it asks, when we add this 5th worker, if we add worker number 5, what is going to be the effect on the number of bean bags per hour? And if we look at worker number 5 here, you can see we are going to produce 5 more bean bags an hour. So it's going to increase production by 5 bean bags. Yeah. If we hire that 5th guy, we're going to produce 5 more bean bags. Yay. Oops, no, oh, forgot. We're using the same chart for the next question. Now, let's go to the 8th worker. Aha, we're going to go to this guy. So when I hire worker number 8, what am I going to do? What is the employer going to do after hiring number 8 and sees, negative return? Actually lose a unit by hiring worker number 8. Yeah. Sayonara. We're going to get rid of him. And let's say that in politically correct terms. We are going to reduce our workforce. Yeah, because we don't want to go fired. We want to reduce our workforce back to 7. Yep. Okay, next one. Here's that big table with all those numbers that made your head spin. And this is a very simple question here. According to the table, what is going to be our best level of production? And remember, I said the best level of production is when marginal cost equals what? Marginal revenue. Where does marginal cost equal marginal revenue? Right here. And what is the total number of bean bags? You got it. Yes. There you go. Prior to this one, if I asked you a question, at what point should the owners of a failing factory shut it down? You should shut it down when the revenue per hour is lower than your operating cost per hour. So if you're taking in less money than you are spending to operate it, your variable costs, you need to shut it down. Yeah, because you're not even covering your variable costs, and you're just spending way more money. You're taking on more debt as you go. So you need to shut it down and try to cut your losses. Next one, and we are using this infographic. So here we've got shifts in the supply curve. So we show an increase and a decrease. And so if the scenario is warfare has cut off a rare supply of metal used in making cell phones. So one firm's marginal cost rose higher than its marginal revenue. Which of the following events in the graph is most likely to be a result of the event? Okay. So if the supply of the rare metal happens, what is that going to do? It's going to cause a decrease in the supply. So that's going to be the one that is what? It's going to be on the right. So it's going to shift back, and then that's also going to make price go up, okay? So the supply curve is going to shift to the left, okay? How would a new government subsidy, this will be the last one, how would a new government subsidy for rice farmers affect the market for rice? If I'm the rice farmer and the government's giving me money to produce rice, I'm going to be able to produce more rice for less cost. So it's going to actually decrease my production costs, because if they're giving me $10,000, then I'm going to be able to produce, say, $20,000 worth of rice for only $10,000. So it's going to decrease my production costs. And that is all the questions for section, what is it, 3.4 to 3.6, and see you for the test.